Hello and welcome. In this video I would like to explain why we use white vinegar to treat mainboards which were damaged by a leaky battery. First of all, let's go back to school and try to remember how a battery works. Basically spoken, a battery contains three parts: an anode, a cathode, and so-called electrolyte. The anode and cathode are usually made from different materials, where the one is more willingly gives up its electrons than the other. If the anode and cathode are connected with a wire, the electrons can run from anode to cathode. To make this happen, cathode has to return something back to the anode, because unfortunately nothing in this world is for free. Well, the payback happens in form of ions running from the cathode to anode through the electrolyte. I will not go into details because this process is described in every school book, Wikipedia, whatsoever. Just search for galvanic elements and you will get a lot of detailed information. Today, I would like to talk about materials which are used in the batteries, in particular about electrolyte, because this is what eventually is leaking on our electronics and ends up in often irreversible damage. As electrolyte, many materials can be used. For example, in the car batteries, sulfuric or in earlier days also hydrochloric acid was usually used. So what happens if such a car battery leaks? Well, first of all, it is very dangerous and can lead to heavy skin burnings, lung injuries and others. But what can you do in such case to neutralize the danger as effective as possible? If you slept in the school during the lessons of the basics of chemistry, maybe it is time to rewatch the film Fight Club.
What is this? This is a chemical weapon.
The effect of using base to neutralize acid was shown there pretty much to the point. Let's imagine you run bare feet through your garage with a car battery in your hands filled to the top with hydrochloric acid. The battery is heavy, and due to you sitting at the PC days in, days out, your arms maybe are not that strong anymore. You stumble, drop the battery right in front of you, and it gets cracked. Well, the hydrochloric acid is pretty much dangerous, so if you want to keep your skin, you should neutralize it instantly with some base. Base is anything with OH in the end of the formula. For example, sodium hydroxide. It will instantly react with the hydrochloric acid and you will get sodium chloride, which is basically the normal cooking salt, and water. So instead of losing your skin, you would be able to take a bath in a warm salty water. So to neutralize acid, you should take a base. Now back to the main question. Why do we take white vinegar to neutralize electrolyte which leaked from the battery on the electronics? I mean, vinegar is obviously acid. So how does it work? Why do we try to neutralize acid with acid? Well, actually this irritation goes back to the wrong naming. Due to widely used acid in the batteries of early days, we keep saying that the damage was produced by acid leaking from the battery. However, this is completely wrong. We actually mean that it was electrolyte which was leaking from the battery, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be acid. Most rechargeable batteries which were used on mainboards back in the days were nickel metal hydride, which formula is NiOH. You see this OH in the end? This means that in such batteries actually a base was used as an electrolyte instead of an acid. So, when we give some acid like white vinegar to the base, which leaked from the nickel metal hydride battery, we will get some acetate and water. This will stop the base from reacting with metals on the PCB instantly. But if the leaked base was too long on the board, it is important to let the vinegar some time to get also into every small hole. Afterwards, the residues can be simply washed away with clean water. It is also important not to take too aggressive acid or it will start its own reaction on the copper traces and turn them instantly into salt. And this is the answer why vinegar is used to neutralize the leaked electrolyte. By the way, the same works for electrolytic capacitors since they also have electrolyte and can leak when they got older or overheated. But please keep in mind that it is important to neutralize acid with base and vice versa, but it is not possible to neutralize acid with acid. So always pay attention to the type of leaking batteries and use electrolyte to choose the right chemicals. And one very important tip in the end. If you have a mainboard or other electronics where a battery leaked and you see some damage on the PCB, don't turn it on. The electrical current will accelerate the chemical reaction and dissolve the traces even faster. So always neutralize the electrolyte and clean the PCB first before you turn it on. And this is it from me. If you like this small trip into chemistry, please leave me some thumbs up. If you like retro computer hardware and restoration of such, please consider to subscribe or share my content. And so far, I say thank you and goodbye.
What is this? This is a chemical burn. Listen! You can run water over your hand to make it worse, or look at me! Or you can use vinegar to neutralize the burn.